Consul General of the Republic of China, Mr. Wei Xinzhang, Chief Representative of the Zenron Energy Company, Mr. Chen, members of the Zenron Energy Company delegation, members of the RDK delegation, members of the MVPT delegation, distinguished guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the Prime Minister of Curaçao, Dr. Bernard Whiteman, I would like to welcome you to the signing ceremony of the EPSA agreement between the country of Curaçao, Refineria de Curaçao, and Guangdong Zenron Energy Company Limited. I would like your attention for words by the Prime Minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, protocol has been served. One correction, not the Prime Minister, but the demissionary Prime Minister. It's important. On the 15th of September, we signed a memorandum of understanding with Guangdong Zenron Energy Company Limited with the intention to follow up on this memorandum of understanding. As some of you may recall, in the memorandum of understanding, we have a timeline consisting of twice 2 months' time. Of course, based on our responsibility, we did not sit quiet after signing, but the day after we started working, because the intention was always to follow up on the memorandum of understanding. We all know that the memorandum of understanding is an agreement, the intention between two parties. And at the end, to make things concise and concrete, we shall go over to lease agreements, contracts. Now, the heads of agreement is what is between the memorandum of understanding and the final lease contracts. The heads of agreement is an agreement between the country of Curaçao, the refinery of Curaçao, Refineria de Curaçao, and Guangdong Zenron Energy Company Limited. The objectives set in the heads of agreement was, as I mentioned, reaching the next step after the MOU of 15th of September. We had milestones in the road to lease the agreements and government agreement, and we designed a framework for commercial terms and the fiscal package. The fiscal package has not been finalized yet, but it is quite advanced. After the refinery de Curaçao, Refineria de Curaçao, reaches binding agreements with Guangdong Zenron Energy Company, and I must acknowledge the presence of the president of the BSB Bank, Curoil, Silicon, Aqualectra, and Curaçao Port authorities. They shall come to separate agreements within Guangdong. So, it is important to understand this. The memorandum of understanding is an overall intention, and this heads of agreement has to do with the refinery, but the other actors, they shall have separate agreements with Guangdong Zenron Energy Company Limited. I want to acknowledge the presence of Member of Parliament, Mrs. Zita Leito, and also my colleagues, Minister Lamomi, Minister Navarro, and Minister Victorino. This heads of agreement that we are going to sign today was submitted to the legal arrangements of our countries, the procedures as prescribed. So it has followed the complete pathway to be able to, let's say, considered as an official document. First of all, on the 17th of November, we finally took a decision in the Council of Ministers. I must say, we had tough discussions, but finally with our colleagues, we reached unanimously to the decision. Then, yesterday, the governor signed the national decree with which I have been empowered to sign the heads of agreement. Based on other arrangements that we have, Refinería de Cosao, with their supervisory board, they are here present now, also had to approve the document and give the empowerment to the director of Refinería de Cosao, and that happened on the 16th and 17th of November, and finally yesterday, the decision of the shareholders of the refinery, what we call in Dutch, Baarwagersluit, was signed. Here you can see the decision of the Council of Ministers. I will not read it now, but it is set in the documents. Then you can see the approval of the governor. On the right-hand side, you can see the signature of the governor, and once the governor signs, then I officialize the document by signing it myself, and that's the signature on the left. This is the letter of Refinería de Cosao approving the document and giving authorization to the director of Refinería de Cosao. And this is the signature of the members of the board of Refinería de Cosao approving the whole package. And finally, you can see my signature with the Baarwagersluit. This document can only be set up after we get the clear signal that the members of the board of the refinery have approved it. So that happened. So with this, I can declare that we have followed all the legal procedures pertaining to this document. So the document has a full legal character. I will now give the floor to Mr. Oblik Bakhuis so that he can go through the different chapters that we have in the Heads of Agreement. It's a document we have of 23 pages, and there are chapters, and he will explain what the different chapters deal with.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, Minister. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Ministers, members of Parliament, distinguished guests, members of the press, welcome. My name is Oblik Bakhuis. I'm a member of the Multidisciplinary Project Team, and I'm going to lead you to the highlights and the headlines of this Heads of Agreement and the framework. So I'm not going to take too much of your time. I just want to do an overview of what this document is exactly about. And after this introduction, we can go over to the signing ceremony. So the first one is to come to a commercial framework in which the future of the refinery is made. The first one is upgrade of the refinery and the terminal. As we all know, the refinery needs a modernization process and needs an upgrade in order to meet the highest environmental standards, to maintain and create more jobs, have an expansion of product range and markets, of course, for the output. Therefore, creating more revenue for the state-owned companies, the Prime Minister already mentioned, but especially RDK, and more tax income, of course, for the country of Curacao. Furthermore, what is new in this document, in retrospect of previous agreements, we have now two separate agreements. A lease agreement for the refinery, as we know it in Emmerstad, and a separate lease agreement for the oil terminal in Bulgaria. Furthermore, we have the financing part and the participation of GZE. In this heads-up agreement, we already started in discussing and negotiating the terms in which GZE will participate in this project. First of all, the GZE will be in charge with the upgrade, and they will provide an upgrade plan. And second of all, they will assist in the workforce development, because a project of this scale, you need detailed planning and execution of the workforce development. Furthermore, the Curacao government, and that's therefore the Curacao government is also a party in this heads-up agreement, shall provide a tax package, as the Prime Minister already mentioned, and forex license fee and forex export license. These are the highlights. This is a summary, executive summary. These are some of the highlights. I will go through this presentation. Some of them I will put more emphasis than others, which are very important to have in this heads-up agreement as a first start or a next step towards the separate lease agreements in the government. First of all, the assets. What are the assets that are subject to this lease agreement? We have the refinery in Emmerstad, as I mentioned, but also the utilities plant for the refinery shall be part of the refinery. So when I speak about the refinery converters, it would be including the utility plant, which also means that the labor force of the crude plant will also be part of the refinery labor force. Pipelines, installations, facilities, right-to-use grounds, and in Emmerstad and at Bulgaria are also part of the assets which are subject to the lease agreements. And also the goodwill the refinery, both the refinery as the oil terminal in Bulgaria have. Operations and maintenance, which is an important chapter in this heads-up agreement and later to be negotiated in the separate lease agreements. Maintenance, especially the GZE will be responsible and bear the responsibility for the operations and maintenance while doing the modernization and the upgrade. The stipulation of API standards or equivalent, we want the highest standards available for the refinery through the course of time. So this is also has been a part of the negotiations for this as an agreement. And overall, the final doc, a 5-year maintenance program we would like to see in to have an operational budget, to have a strong and solid maintenance plan. Crude supply is very important for the operations of the refinery. Therefore, within the heads-up agreement, we have negotiated the crude supply. GZE shall bear the responsibility for 100% of the crude. And therefore, we will see, we have already seen, a highly confident letter from crude suppliers as a condition for entering into these agreements. Of course, crude supply is dependent on the specification of our refinery, and therefore it's also important to have the crude in line with the installations that are present at the refinery, and which will be part of the upgrade later. The refinery upgrade scope, which is very important from this moment on to be speaking about. These are the standards we would like to see, and we have agreed to with the GZE as a minimum to have the installations that the refinery needs. And which is also important when you're discussing a lease term, it's also important to know when the upgrade will be finished. So therefore, the plan should be executed within 5 years after operations have started. One thing that's also important is that any new assets on the refinery or any refurbished or renovated assets shall be transferred to RDK after the lease term. that's very important is the health, safety, environmental, and security aspects of the refinery operations and the upgrade, and therefore an environmental framework needs to be constituted. This is part of the negotiations with the government, but also the government and RDK, GZE, in the future, to meet the HSES standards, as they say, to the highest level. Also, the heads of agreement and the later lease agreements stipulated a remediation reserve fund, which is to be established for the moment the refinery should shut down or close down after the lease term or an extension thereof. Remediation while operating. And also the monitoring by the government, of course, and audit specific audit rights on HSES related matters. Then we make a step to the commercial and lease terms. We have agreed on a long-term lease agreement for both lease agreements for a period, for 40 years, which consists of a lease fee with a variable scheme. In the current lease agreement, we have a fixed fee for the land lease, or for the lease of the refinery. Now we will have a new scheme which has a fixed fee, an annual fixed fee, which is subject to gradual adjustment along the years, periods of time, but also an annual variable fee, which is dependent on the throughput. The throughput related to the throughput, to the feedstock and refined products. So whatever comes in and out shall be part of the lease fee as well. Therefore, depends on the profit that GZE makes. There will also be an incentive and penalty scheme for the key performance indicators. There will be well-defined key performance indicators, and along with the performance on those KPIs, there will be an incentive or a penalty scheme. Also, minimum throughput is negotiated 70.5%, which can be related to the annual variable fee to throughput, to make sure that the refinery, both the refinery and the oil term, after an inspection, is used to the maximum capacity as much as possible. The financing part, which is also very important. GZE shall finance 100% of the refinery upgrade and the terminal upgrade, the terminal upgrade, and also the operations during the upgrade. So within these 5 years when the upgrade plan is executed, GZE shall also finance the operations of the refinery and the terminal. The fiscal and taxation package shall be part of the government agreements, which is subject to negotiations and is in a almost final stage, like the Prime Minister already mentioned. The governance, especially for RDK, but also for the country of Curaçao, the governance structure of GZE, its presence here in Curaçao, is very important. Therefore, we have negotiated a monthly reporting pack, which, among other things, consists of a decent response, but also the right for RDK to appoint one or more observers to their supervisory board in order to see and monitor any strategic decisions made in the supervisory board. Therefore, we stipulated that a minimum of 2 board meetings shall be held for each year. And also, the right to commission independent audits by RDK or by the government to verify the compliance, not only with all the HSES stipulations and obligations we have, but also the lease arrangement. The local content obligation is very important for Curaçao. The use of local workforce, GZE has given us a very high level of comfort in the use of local workforce, but also the use of local contractors and suppliers, which are used during the operations and the maintenance of the refinery, but also be used during the construction phase in the upgrade, hardware operation, and every other spin-off that you might have on the monetization and upgrade plans. course, is a very important aspect as well for RDK and the government. GCE will assist and develop a plan for an apprentice program, vocational school, to have local staff in management positions, do the apprentice program, training programs based on competency-based training programs, and also guarantee the minimum of 1,200 direct hired employees, which is the current employees we have now in the refinery, and also the utility plant. The workforce will go over with comparable terms to existing contractual arrangements. This can be individual contractual relations, but also the collective labor agreements. From the pay principle, which is very important to us, to have equal pay for equal work, both for hired employees, the 1,200 I mentioned earlier, but also the contractor employees, that if they do the same job, they get paid equally. And therefore, the GCA, during the course of time, shall negotiate the employment terms, the collective labor agreements, separately with the respective representatives of the unions, and also participate. We have stipulated a special clause for this in the HOA, as an agreement for the workforce development initiative. Domestic supply for fuel, local fuel to be used locally in the island is also important, and therefore we've already negotiated these terms in the heads of agreement. So there is a minimum amount of electricity to be delivered from crude utilities plant to Aqualectra by acceptable terms, of course, to Aqualectra, but also a warranty from GCE to have a minimum 90 days as what they call note for emergency supply of domestic fuel inventory. To make sure there are no mistakes about the other aspects, the assets are excluded. These assets are excluded from the heads of agreement, and therefore also from the future lease agreement. As everybody knows, there is a procedure now going on for the build, own, and operate the LNG terminal in Billerbeek. That arrangement, of course, that agreement to be agreed upon will not be part of this heads of agreement or any future agreements deriving from this heads of agreement. Also, the upgrade will include the conversion of the utility supply to a natural gas powered solution, which the natural gas will, of course, be coming from the LNG facility. And GCE also has agreed in this heads of agreement to do maintenance on the sections of the pipelines included in the refinery assets, and to provide any other government-owned company the right of passage if they need to execute any maintenance on their installations or assets. We also have a clause for early stepping rights. Our ideal situation to have an easy transition is to have GCE work together with PDVSA in matters regarding operations before and after the 31st of December 2019, the end of the current lease agreement, to have a smooth transition. But we also have discussed and negotiated on early stepping rights in the event PDVSA would breach the current contract, so GCE would be able to step in early. Finally, we have the milestones. What is next? The first step was, of course, the signing of the MOU. Now we have the signing of the heads of agreement. 28 days after the signing of this heads of agreement, GCE is to provide a letter of intent by one of its reputable banks for the financial support, which is 100%, as we mentioned before. This is very important. After that, we'll have a period in which GCE will draft and provide technical information, or require technical information from RDK in order to draft this project plan for the entire project. And the first draft of this project is what the technician called the front-end engineering design, FEED, is to be submitted to RDK by the 30th of April 2007. first draft of the comprehensive workforce development plan, which is a project plan, an in-depth large project plan on what GCE's idea is on the labor force and the training of the labor force. GCE will do this, of course, jointly with RDK and MPPT in order to provide a solid plan for the future of the labor. And after this period, between April 2017 and November 2017, we will have a period of negotiations and signing and closing of the lease agreements between RDK and GCE. And by that time, of course, we will need to have an agreement with the government as well, with the urban direction government. So this highlights the content of the heads of agreement, and I will pass the word back to the Prime Minister. Thank you.
Thank you, Aubrey. I would like to draw special attention for three aspects that I just mentioned. First of all is the first action to prepare the workforce development. Secondly, the fact that this agreement continues to be based on equal pay for equal work, whether it's a worker of the refinery, a contractor or subcontractor, we apply equal pay for equal work. And third, special attention to Chapter 6, which is the early step-in possibility. From information I have been receiving, I think the situation at the refinery is of such that it is quite possible that we will have to apply an early step-in to continue activities. This is very important. I would like to first give the word to Mr. Binyan, and then have Mr. Jose Manuel say a few words to you, and finally Mr. Werner Leeds, the president of the multidisciplinary team.
尊敬的女士们、先生们、朋友们，欢迎大家今天来见证广东镇荣这个普拉索的签订。
Respectful ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this come to this meeting together to witness the Guangdong Zhenrong and the Curaçao government to sign this kind of agreement.
相信这个框架协议的签订，对于广东镇荣、对于普拉索都是一件开放的大事。
We believe this kind of agreement will be a very good start between the Curaçao and Guangdong Zhenrong.
大家相信，广东镇荣不仅仅是在中国国内，然后在世界任何地方都是一个负责任的、有责任心的公司。
We love to have your trust that Guangdong Zhenrong, not only inside China but also all over the world, we are a responsible company.
按原来 MOU 的规定，我们本来这个框架协议还可以在取消这个以后再签。
According to the MOU, we could sign this agreement, maybe have another 2 months time.
但是呢，我们每次到了普拉索，看着现在这个炼油厂每天还在排放着黄烟和黑烟，还在污染着这么美丽的天空，我们就是实在是不能够继续下去，所以我们希望我们能够提前结束这个污染对普拉索的影响。
But every time when we come to Curaçao and when we look the smoke, the fire from the refinery, and we feel strongly obligated, and we would like to get involved earlier and stop this pollution as early as we can.
这个为了普拉索的全国能够早一天恢复蓝天白云，我们广东阵容来的不仅仅是我们一个公司，我们是带来了一个非常强大的团队，而且这个团队是一个国际性的。
To return the blue sky and clean water back to Curaçao, when Guangdong Zone come in, not only by ourselves, we brought in a strong team. This is an international team.
这个团队包括中国的中石油、中石化、中国海洋石油公司，以及国际上著名的英国石油公司 BP 和美国著名的石油服务公司赫斯。
This team includes PetroChina, includes the Sinopec, and the Sinop. These are major companies in China. Also, we also invited the BP, which is a renowned company in the world. Also, from America, the Foster Wheel.
这一切就说明了我们的决心和我们的意愿。
All these can explain our decision and our commitment.
所以我希望在我们今后执行这个协议的基础上，希望在座的所有朋友们来对我们进行指导和建议。
So, in the future, during the project execution, we welcome all the people to witness and to also to check what we are doing here.
同时，在这里我也向所有愿意支持普拉索经济发展和环境改善的朋友们发出邀请，希望他们有机会多到中国去走一走、看一看。
Here, I also would like to send my invitation to all the people who have a willingness to improve the Curaçao economic development and also the environmental protection. And I try to invite you to visit China.
我们愿意把中国改革开放30几年的经验与和朋友们分享。
We would like to share our experience of the past 30 years of China in the economic reform and open to the world.
在这儿，我再一次强调，希望我们大家共同携手，为普拉索今后经济的发展和环境的改善来共同努力。谢谢大家。
And let me emphasize, and I would like to ask all your support, and let's work together for the Curaçao of tomorrow and for the Curaçao people's future. Thank you very much.
I also would like to welcome members of the Parliament of Curaçao, members of the Council of Ministers, members of the Supervisory Board of Directors of LDK, distinguished guests, members of the press, welcome. What are we looking for in a new partner for the refinery? The problem, as we all know, and the alternative. Well, we are looking at a partner to align all these separate companies together and to create the optimum revenue stream for Curaçao. That's what we're looking for in a new partner. We all know that the existing disagreement will end at the latest at the end of 2019 and maybe before then. Now Mr. Aubrey summarized the highlights from this agreement, and also you all get a chance to read carefully the Hessel Agreement. you will notice that all those points are very important to guarantee the future, a bright future for these companies and for Curaçao. We are very glad that we could have found a partner to comply with all these points that we are looking for in the new lease agreement. Guangdong Zenron is such a partner, so we are very happy with the performance of Guangdong Zenron up to now and their affiliate companies. We have negotiated so far in a very respectful manner with each other, and we are sure that we will continue that until and hopefully we can reach a satisfactory disagreement for the future of Curaçao. Therefore, I would like to thank the Guangdong Zenron delegation and all their affiliates companies. Mr. Chen, thank you very much. And I would like to also congratulate Curaçao for the achievement of the MDPT team up to now. And Epica is confident that we will reach a satisfactory, well-formed lease agreement for the coming 40 years, and therefore guarantee the future, the bright future of Curaçao. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jose. Distinguished Prime Minister, Commissioner, members of Parliament, ministers, members of the Guangdong team. Also, specifically, I have to recognize tonight the presence of the representation of BP Asia and BP USA. Also, a very important team, the MBPT. We started about 3 years ago on the 29th of November this month. It will be exactly 3 years that we were established. A lot of things happened. A lot of friendships were made. A lot of sacrifices were made. But one thing we learned once we met the Guangdong team was the word trust is a lot more than just a word. Trust is the basis that civilized societies use when they meet each other. We learned a lot about trusting each other. And I have to mention something that happened while we were negotiating. Something that made me very proud in mankind. In this Heads of Agreement, there is something very unique. For the environmental part, Guangdong has agreed that they will respect the environmental framework that we made for the new refinery update, but also they will take into account future modifications of the environmental laws we make. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something very specific. As nobody can look into the future, but we know our environment is changing, it's getting hotter. We need more air conditioning, we need more power from our collector, but all these things come at a cost. We reach a point where we need to be sure that we can continue having a reliable supply of fuel. NDPT, together with the government, also started with the LNG terminal request for proposal, led by Mr. Jaime de Sola today of NDPT. The bids are due next week, 21st of November. It's also a very significant milestone for us. These two things go together, the new refinery modernization, but also a cleaner fuel. I also live downwind to refinery. Some of you may know also. We all are aware that we cannot play with the environment, and we want to have a clean environment, not for us, but for future generations. I'm very happy to say that our Prime Minister, Mr. Bernard Whiteman, has insisted constantly on this issue. He didn't accept compromises on the environment. This is something very unique. Some people look at money and prestige, but the legacy that is left behind today will make sure that we have a clean refinery and a better future for our whole community. I will not make it long, but I would like to thank my team, all our colleagues, those that are present, those that are abroad, and those that work in the background that doesn't show up sometimes, our famous consultants. I see 2 smiles, a 3rd smile. I'm happy that you are here with us in good times and bad times, and we are all together working for the future of Curaçao. Thank you.
Thank you for those kind words, all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we sang.
Please have the cameras need to take a shot, please.
that put all the effort in making this possible. I would like also express gratitude to those members of Parliament that have shown interest in this issue and were interested in getting information about this vital and important issue for our people. I want to say special thanks to my secretariat, Carlos and Cherise, that worked very hard in conducting the documents. Also special thanks to Mr. Francis, the head of my cabinet. This would not have been possible without their diligent work. Very, very special thanks to the multidisciplinary team. I was shocked to see how they make it accustomed to work on Saturdays and Sundays. Also, a very, very special thanks to the link between the multidisciplinary team and our government by Mariela Fernandez. I also want to thank the legal office, FCW Legal, that supported us all the way, now represented by Mr. Flocker. And I also want to thank all those of you who believed in this project. And I want to congratulate the population of Curaçao. We were in time, on time, and as Mr. Will said, this is a matter of trust. And there is no better way for development than that is based on trust. So I am very happy to conclude this chapter, and I hope that the fruits of this working relationship will be seen by each and every one of you, and especially our kids and our grandkids. Thank you.